This is one of 3 raised beds that I have, and I bought this watering grid from Amazon, and it creates these nice 1 foot by 1 foot grids. So great for square foot gardening, and they have little holes to admit water. In this first square, I have a peanut plant. It's the first time I'm growing it. And the next one over, I have a tomato plant. Not sure of the variety, but I've been removing the flowers because I want to have a really strong plant. And in this grid, I have a zinnia, which I'm not sure of the variety, but I really enjoy growing zinnias. The next 3 squares over, I have hollyhocks, and I got the seed from a patient of mine at the hospital where I work at. And they're doing pretty well. This is Status, and I started the seeds last year, and Status tends to take long for me. And back there I have ranunculus the leaves are emerging. And in these 3 I also grew from seed. They're straw flowers. I have 3 large fabric pots that I've been using year after year. And in this first fabric pot, I'm growing the Yukon potato. And it's the second year I'm growing it. I got the seed potato from Home Depot. And the leaves are looking really great. And it's really easy to grow. And the harvest was pretty good last year. So I'm looking forward to that this year. In this second fabric pot, I have my 2 basil plants that I grew from seed. In the beginning, they did struggle a bit, but I think they're hitting their stride right now. And in the third fabric pot, I have my bitter melon plant, which is very popular in Hawaii. And there's actually a flower with immature fruit growing on it. And I actually use my old Christmas trees as trellises to give the garden a more rustic feel. Here in the second raised bed, I have Okinawan sweet potato, and I have another peanut plant growing with cilantro on the side. There's some Swiss chard in the back, eggplant, green bell pepper, and I've been removing the flowers. Here's another peanut plant, and I use a lot of eggshell cartons for compost. And up the trellis here, I have the Oregon sweet pea. Here I'm growing for the first time fava beans, and they don't need to be trellised. And the next over, I have soya beans, or also known as edamame. And back there I have my sweet peas. This area is a work in progress. I'm actually using boxwoods to try to create a hedge. And there's some nasturtiums that reseeded itself. And this is my 3rd raised bed. I purchased this raised bed from Home Depot a few weeks ago, and it was about $140. It's taken a couple weeks to fill it up because it's just so deep. I used cardboard on the bottom with garden waste and just things around the garden to help add to it. This is my vermicomposting. I have some shredded paper and underneath some red wigglers with kitchen waste for them. And this side I had buried some of my bokashi compost with kitchen waste scraps and covered that up. Everything in here, the seeds came from Baker's Creek. So I grew my zinnias. And this cucumber variety is called Jibai. I have 2 of them. And Back there I have melon, the Sakata's sweet variety, and squash. Here I'm growing tomato, and the variety is called Wood's Famous Brimmer. And you can see here I've used 1/3 vermiculite, 1/3 compost, and 1/3 coco coir for the filler. Moving on to this side of the house, I have some Thai apple banana, and you can see there's some cakey baby plants growing. And I have a macadamia nut tree, which actually is flowering at the moment. I have papaya trees. There's some fruit, and here is some flowers. This is one of 2 of my Meyer lemon trees. They produce really huge lemons, great for juicing, for pies, cakes. And over here I have my star apple tree, and it's giving fruit for the first time. It's been growing for almost, I'd say, a decade, and I'm finally getting some fruits on it. And moving along here, I have one of my first planters, and I have a setup where I have worms on one side and the lettuce on the other. And the lettuce seems to be growing really great. And coming up to the second planter. I really like these planters because it's easy on the back. You don't have to bend, and it keeps them away from slugs. And I have a netting over it. Here's some garlic that I stuck in the ground, and again some worms, red wigglers underneath there. And I think I'll show you what my red worms look like. There's some peels, fruit peels, and then there's the worms that you can see underneath there. They look really happy. There are some new things that I'm doing around the garden, one of which is collecting rainwater. And I purchased this 50-gallon drum to collect water. Also, I started to really work more on my labeling. I'm really bad at not labeling, so I got these copper labels, and they're really pretty. So this concludes the garden tour. Thank you so much for watching, and happy gardening!